Hello everybody, so today we're going to be learning how to make boba straw flutes. They're going to sound a little bit like this. So the things you're going to need for this are a boba straw or bubble tea straw, the ones that are thick and have the little pointy part on the end. Then you're going to need some scotch tape and some scissors, and that's about it. It's pretty simple. So the first thing that we're going to do is take and we're going to hold the straw like this. We're going to squeeze it with the pointy end facing up. You squeeze it just like this, make it all nice and flat at the bottom. Then you're going to take it and you're going to see how the pointy end is like towards me, not towards the camera. So we're going to take it and we're going to fold that down just like that, making sure that there's a nice flat and crisp edge. Now we're going to take a couple pieces of scotch tape and we're going to tape this down so it's nice and airtight because we don't want any air getting through or else it won't make any sounds. So we're going to tape it up really well. You can see I put a piece of tape around the outside like this. Now I'm going to put another piece around the top just like that, just to make sure it's nice and airtight. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to measure 3 finger widths from the top where the tape is. We're going to take 3 finger widths. And right here, where that ends, we're going to squeeze the straw, just like this. Then we're going to take our scissors, not cutting ourselves, because that would be bad, and we're going to cut a little diamond shape, just like that. You can see we have a little diamond. It's like a little mouth. If you squeeze it, you can talk with it. Okay. Now we're going to see if we can make noise with this hole by blowing across it with our amazing flute embouchures. If you don't know how to make a flute embouchure, we are going to kind of spit rice out of our mouths, kind of down at an angle, like a, or if you're like kind of sassy, you go you make a little and you go with the rice. And you're going to do that across the tone hole and try to get a sound out. Now if you're trying like that and you're not getting anything, you're moving it around, you're pushing the air in different directions, you're changing the air speed and you're not getting anything out, there's a couple of things you could try. You want to make sure, first of all, that you are blowing somewhat over the tone hole because that could be an issue if you're not doing that. The next thing is you want to make sure that it's cut evenly, so like both sides are the same size. As you can see, mine here isn't quite like that, so I'm going to cut one of the sides just a little bit more to make it a little bit more even and see if that helps. It's still kind of airy, so I'm just going to make the hole just a smidge bigger. That's the next thing that you can do after making sure that it's even, is make it just a little bit bigger. See if because it might not be letting enough air into the instrument to make a noise. There we go, see? You went down the steps, figured out what the problem was, and then you fix it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do, after you can get a nice tone out of this hole, is we're going to go down and start doing some stuff down on this end of the straw. So the first thing that we're going to do is measure 2 finger widths from the end of the straw, and then we're going to squeeze it like we did at the top to make a hole. Now, you want to make sure that when you're squeezing it so that it's in line with the tone hole. So you see you have the tone hole here, and I'm squeezing it right in line with it, or else you're going to hurt your hands when you're playing. That would not be good. So we're going to cut a hole. It's going to be a little tiny baby hole. It's going to be like maybe 1/4 of the size of the big hole that we cut at the top for the tone hole. just enough to change the pitch. You don't need a big gigantic hole for that. You just need just a little baby hole. So like you have this little baby hole compared to this big hole. Okay, so just a little tiny one. Now to play this hole, we're going to use our right hand middle finger. And you're going to cover the hole with that. And you're going to blow to make sure that you're still getting that initial pitch that you were getting with no holes in it. And once you have that, you're going to lift up your finger and see if the pitch changes. Okay, you have do and re now. Okay, now we're going to make mi by taking 2 finger widths again from that hole that we just made. So 4 finger widths from the top, 2 finger widths from this hole. We're going to squeeze again, staying in line with this hole. And we're going to cut a hole, a little diamond that is about the same size as the one that we just cut for the re hole, for our mi hole. Okay. So we're going to try playing test again. And it's a little bit out of tune, but we're not expecting anything perfect with this. We're playing your straw out of a flute. It's not going to be completely perfect. Okay, so now for the next hole, we're going to measure 1 finger width because it's going to be a half step. So we're going to take 1 finger width and squeeze the straw like we were for the other parts. You can see, squeezing it again, 1 finger width this time, cutting a hole about the same size. See right now we have 2 finger widths, 2 finger widths, 1 finger width, and the holes are all about the same size and about in line with each other. Now, I forgot to say before, we're going to play the second hole that we cut with your right hand pointer finger. So you have the middle finger, pointer finger, and then now you're going to take your left hand middle finger, and you're going to go like that to play the next hole that we just cut. Okay, now we're going to do it playing a test again. There we go. We got it out that time. Okay, so now for the next hole, we're going to go back to 2 finger widths because it's a whole step again. So from the last hole that we just cut, we measure 2 finger widths. We're going to squeeze it again like we did before for the bottom 2. And then we're going to cut another little diamond 1 more time. Just like that. So it almost looks like a recorder, but made out of a straw. Okay, so remember we're going to use our 2 middle and pointer fingers on both hands and cover up the holes. Then we're going to do a playing test 1 more time. Here we go. So now you can play do to sol on a bubble tea straw. So you can play little do to sol songs like Ode to Joy. Kind of like that, maybe a little bit clearer if you're a little bit better at it than I am. But you can make these super easily just using bubble tea straws, tape, and some scissors. Here you go.